We're going to have some fun tonight. The next guest is a woman with one of the most powerful stories I've probably heard in years, and Katherine Nema Zaghi is going to tell you some things that may surprise you, because most of the people in here have been Christians for a while. And she's going to tell you her story about how she came to the Lord. Your mouth may fall open. She's got a lot of humor to share, of course, but she's got she's done a lot of living. And God brought her a long way in a short period of time. I want to tell you some of the things she's been doing. First off, she graduated 3 different schools of comedy, if you want to call it that, to put it in terms of improv, so we can understand. 3 different ones. She's done comedy up and down the West Coast since 2015. She's been on comedy specials, and she's got an amazing story. From Los Angeles, California, Katherine Nema Zaghi.
Everybody! Wow, Colorado Springs, what an honor to be here. Yes, I am from California, so please don't hate me. I promise I'm leaving on Sunday, okay? Yes, I know you have enough transplants from California. And as soon as I got here, they're like, please leave. We're full, occupancy full. I heard you guys are moving them out, like trying to take them to like Idaho or somewhere. But I am so excited to be in Colorado Springs for my very first time, the land of ministries and churches. Yes, and to a new believer like me, that's like Disneyland. Yes, and I'm so honored in all seriousness to be here with you guys today. Being here today is just a miracle beyond even explaining. I will try to do my best. And I just want to give a shout out to Crossroads Ministries for just inviting me and having me here tonight. I wouldn't be here without them, and Academy Christian Church for having us here. So thank you all so much. Yes, I am a new believer. Who wants to know what happened? Yeah, can I hear a little bit of... Okay. Okay, fine, I'll share. So, yes, I grew up, so I am Persian Jewish, and I grew up Jewish all my life. I'm still Jewish. Just believe in Jesus now. And ironically, didn't expect this one to happen. I really didn't expect this after I started believing in Jesus, but I feel more Jewish now that I'm following Jesus. So I didn't expect that, but to just dive in a little bit to like what brought me here, because honestly, to stand here before you all is a miracle, because I'm still alive. And it all started back when in December 2019, right before COVID happened, I had one of the darkest hours of my life. I was already in the New Age movement for like over 20 years. I stopped believing in religion, even though I grew up conservative Jewish, very Jewish parents, you guys. You guys got the double whammy guilt trip going on. I have the Persian mom and dad, Middle Eastern culture, and then we also have the Jewish, guilt part that I had to add to that. But then I was in the New Age because I went away from religion. I didn't believe in the Bible. I didn't believe with anything that I was raised with. So I went far into this supernatural, spiritual realm of the New Age. I thought I was doing what God wanted me to do. It was the deception of the enemy. As you all know, the devil comes as an angel of light. And that's exactly what I was, deceived. And I went far in. I was teaching. I had clients. I was doing everything you could imagine, really naive, thinking I'm serving God. I thought we have one God. The same God of the Bible, of the Jewish God, is the same God for all of us. Now, so I'm working on myself, personal development, for like over 20 years. And I'm like sitting there after all this time, almost 40. I'm like, how come I still haven't achieved everything that I feel like I should have achieved, like a husband? Right? And then, like, financially, I'm still living with my parents. And all that aside, there were other battles. I was going through severe depression, anxiety, and panic attacks. I was on medication for all of them. On top of that, I also was battling addictions to weed, marijuana, and cigarettes, chain smoking. like a pack of cigarettes a day, American spirits, because I fooled myself to thinking, well, these ones are organic and healthier. And smoking an ounce of weed a week. And if you guys don't know marijuana measurements, that is a lot of weed. That was like literally as soon as I woke up before I brushed my teeth till last thing I did before I closed my eyes to go to sleep. And I fooled myself thinking this is helping me with depression, anxiety, and being creative so I could come and stand before you today on a stage. This is probably one of the first or second times I'm here sober. It's actually third time performing sober on a stage. Yes. So I fooled myself to thinking I need weed or alcohol. I need to be somewhat like not sober so I could be on stage to do comedy and be in front of an audience. So by the power of God, I'm standing here before you sober performing and feel even better than I did when I was on substances. So that's all the Lord, right? So at this dark hour in December 2019, I was battling severe panic attacks. I went to the ER twice in 1 week because I thought I was getting a heart attack. I was almost debilitated for a whole week in bed, couldn't move because I was suffering really bad panic attacks that I couldn't even move my body. It was really bad. And then this dark hour, I just did a genuine prayer to God, who I thought is the same God that I was praying to throughout the whole New Age. But I just said, God, please help me die in my sleep. And I really meant it because I was not suicidal, it was not premeditated, but this was such a hopeless moment, such a dark moment that I just felt so discouraged. I just felt like everything I did in my flesh, in the works-based method of, hamster's wheel of the New Age, didn't get me anywhere. I feel like I'm in the same place. Thank God he didn't answer that prayer. And 6 months later, I get saved, and I'll tell you what happened. I saw him working through, when I look back at what had happened from that moment I'm praying for him to let me die peacefully in my sleep till when I got saved, I look back and I could see how his Spirit was drawing me to him because there's a lot of changes that happened before I actually got saved and actually prayed to get saved and healed. So I had seen testimonies, just to give you a little short clip version, I had seen testimonies of people getting saved and healed by Jesus, who in the New Age, if you didn't know, there's like other dozens of versions of Jesuses that are non-biblical. Like we have a New Age Jesus. And that Jesus is the one I thought is the one that everyone's talking about in the Bible. I didn't know that there was a different Jesus, a Bible Jesus that was the Messiah, as the Son of God, is the Lord, the Jewish Messiah. And then I saw these testimonies of people getting saved and healed. And so, I'm like, okay, I'm going to try this prayer. I'm just going to see what happens. And let me tell you, I had no Christian friends. I didn't have a book, a Bible, a sermon. I didn't have a church. I'm in quarantine. This is like in the middle of COVID, the peak of quarantine when you're isolated. And I had nobody to preach the gospel. I didn't even know what the gospel was, to be honest. I thought gospel was just music. I really was that naive. I'm like, what is gospel? I already know that. Yeah, I sing with the choir. That's great. Gospel. That's good news right there. And then I'm genuinely telling you, I had no idea. I had no idea what the crucifixion was, what it meant, what the cross was. I just didn't understand why would the Son of God die? Why would he die? Like, I didn't understand anything. I was clueless, like a child. But like a child, I came to prayer. And a few weeks before this prayer, my mom had planted a seed in me to try to quit. And she's never had bothered me about quitting, but she said to try to quit. And I said, no, Mom, I can't. You don't understand. It's helping me with my depression, my anxiety, my creativity to do comedy. I can't quit smoking weed and cigarettes, and I can't. But it planted a seed in me. And then a few weeks later, I even actually tried after that, and I couldn't even do half a day on my own strength. I couldn't do half a day. So on June 21st, 2020, I just made a prayer. I said, Dear Jesus. Yeah, I didn't even know how to pray, you guys. So I said, Dear Jesus, please take away my addictions to weed, cigarettes, and help me clean my room. that was a genuine request because let me tell you when you're very depressed and debilitated, you can't even clean your room. Like I had to go, but I couldn't even do laundry for a year. So I went to a 99-cent store. I don't know if you guys have that here in Colorado Springs, but we have one on every block, a Dollar Tree, a 99-cent store. I would go and buy underwear and socks just so I could have underwear and socks because I couldn't even do laundry for a year. And I consider myself to be like an interior designer type, very neat, organized, and orderly in my room. But that was just a very bad side effect that was unnatural to me to be living in chaos. And like a tornado came through my room and I was living like that for a year. I wake up less than 8 hours later and I had 0 cravings. I'm like, what, Jesus? Wait, you're here? You're real? What? You saved me? Okay, okay, I will give my life to you. You're the realest thing I've ever experienced. This was a supernatural miracle. In my sleep, he delivered me. Couldn't be my own strength at all. I tried. And what's crazy is later the Lord convicts me and lets me know, you prayed on Father's Day. I'm God, your father. And as a Jew, we don't identify to God as a father figure. So that was I did not plan for that. It was just another beautiful part of the story. I got delivered from the New Age, everything. That day, I even started cleaning my room, you guys. I even did laundry. I threw all my paraphernalia away, didn't touch weed or cigarettes or do anything with the New Age, and it's been over 2 years sober, all to the Lord. Yes. And this goes perfectly with our theme with joy, because he really convicted me. As Proverbs, come on, Kat, how can you mess this up? Proverbs 17:22 says, right? A joyful heart is good medicine. A joyful heart. Joy is medicine to our heart, to our soul. And the opposite, when you have like sorrow, that dries up the bones. Grief, all of that. So joy is the theme tonight, right? And I pray that this inspires you. That if you've maybe sometimes we forget the presence of the Lord, but the word also says that where the presence of the Lord is, joy is there too. And so I hope that this inspires and encourages someone that the presence of the Lord is with you always. And that is where we can start to embrace that more, to find that joy more in our own personal lives, as he's been doing to me, because there's more miracles that have happened. I would love to speak to anyone. If you need prayer, I'm your sister in the back. And one of the things that ironically happened after I got saved and I surrendered my life, gave my life up to the Lord, I had a conflict, and this was a fleshly conflict. My jealousy started kicking in, because I'm like, Jesus loves everybody. Ironically, all my exes look like Jesus. I don't know what that means, but I think he was calling me to him, drawing me to him even years before I knew about him. They're all Middle Eastern, Jewish, they have the beard. One even spoke Aramaic. I'm like, all right, but that was the last one, and then I got saved, so I was like, we were getting closer. We got closer. Another interesting thing is I have to say is before I prayed and before I got saved during COVID, because I'm single, never been married, and I don't have kids, never been engaged, so I was making what is known in the worldly way to create a vision board so you could put what you want on the board. So ironically, I had my vision of the ideal man. I made a list. So I made a list that became over 100 things. And then at the end of it, I'm like, this man does not exist. This man is only can be Jesus. And I think that maybe worked, because then a few months later, I get saved. So I think I'm technically engaged, spiritually at least. Am I? I don't know, but I know that I'm a 40-something-year-old virgin now, born again virgin. Since I'm in my 40s, and I was just thinking, and I don't have kids, I was like, this Easter, I'm just going to hide all my eggs in the freezer. I'm so single, my bed only has like one side. On 4th of July, I celebrate America's Independence Day and mine. I just wanted a husband as bad as y'all wanted this pandemic to end. It's funny because I'll tell you, biblically, if I were to just sum up my dating life, it would be like the book of Numbers. No, not the quantity, not quantity. Just that it was like really dry, like being in a desert, like going in circles with men and getting nowhere. I think about that desert scene, my Jewish ancestors really walking the desert for 40 years. And I'm like, in that 100-degree weather we had in California, I don't know why I can't even walk from the Target parking lot to my car without crying in this hot weather. And I'm like, Lord, what happened to my DNA? Like, it should be stronger than this. Seriously. Like reading about King Solomon. I'm like, wow, he had 700 wives, 300 concubines. I'm like, I just want one husband. Thank you. Yeah, it's funny. That's what I know. God has a sense of humor because he has the best sense of humor. Yeah, my life, he just reveals. My whole life is just a nice, happy, joyous joke with a happy ending because I think it's so funny how I went far away from religion. He goes, okay, you go. I got a plan for you. Go far away from your Jewish roots, but guess what? Plot twist, you're coming right back to me. And that's what he did, and that was just really funny to me. I'm like, thank you, Lord. At least you're using me. You're turning it around for your glory. So now that you're going to know a little bit about my life, I am a Persian Messianic Jew. Yeah, so you guys know what that makes me? One hairy, consecrated Chewbacca. It's been traumatizing growing up as a Middle Eastern woman. Like, I have hair growing everywhere I don't want it to grow, and have hair that stopped growing everywhere I want it to grow. Like, I used to have a unibrow and hairy legs like a Middle Eastern man's chest. I still do. Why do you think I'm wearing pants? True story today, my mom, she's happy that I'm on a trip. I haven't been on a trip for 6 years, hadn't flown on a plane. And I live with them in an apartment with my dog. And she was happy for me to be alone and have my own space finally and enjoy. And I have a lot of time on my hands. And she was very serious. She goes, well, now you could you have all this time. You could go and enjoy yourself and shave your legs. She was very serious. She goes, it'll bring you peace. Yeah, it's like 2.5-hour process. I need 3 men's razor blades. In case my husband's or future husband's listening, I'm just joking. I'm just a comedian. Yeah, so I want to tell you a little about my prep process to get here tonight, to prepare. Maybe someone out there might relate. Had to tweeze the hair on my chin. I had to bleach the hair on my sideburns. My mustache already grew back after shaving it this morning. It's been traumatizing. I can testify that 700 AD hair is the same hair as it was yesterday, today, and tomorrow. If you're a Middle Eastern woman, you need a great wax specialist, a great tweezer, razor, and a great laser hair removal clinic. You guys know when you go to a place where you fill out forms like what's your gender, what's your ethnicity? You guys know, like in schools or in doctor's offices, and there's all these boxes you check off. Never in my life have I ever seen a Middle Eastern checkbox until I went to a laser hair removal clinic. And I was like conflicted for a second. Like, part of me was just so happy and excited. And then as soon as I did, because I'm like, I'm being seen, I have a box. Yes, let me check that box. And as soon as I did, I realized, wait, they just want to know how best to prepare, how stubborn my hair is, so they could best prepare for my hair and offer me a lifetime membership for free and update their laser technology with NASA. It's been traumatizing. How many of you guys can relate? Do you guys have an electrolysis, by the way? Anyone out here have a wax specialist? No? Anyone has to bleach? Have you ever bleached your hair? One person. Great, thank you. And she's half Persian. I know that. So that doesn't really count. I was hoping this is not just a cultural issue. But yes, I'm so happy that I'm here for you guys today. I got to be here. Let me just tell you, when Jesus comes back, right, it's going to be the most shocking and dramatic Bachelor season finale ever. Yeah, so give it up for you guys. You guys have been such a great audience. So supportive. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you guys all for being here. I will be in the back. If you guys have questions, if you guys want me to pray on you, if you want to have, if you have a husband or someone you want me to know, yeah, we can hook up in the back. Thank you guys so much. Have a great rest of your night. Thank you.
She's on Instagram. You can find her all over Facebook. Not Facebook, and you're not on Facebook, YouTube. And you may not know this, but she said she was a new believer. The Christian comedy thing just fell in her lap, and then it just so happens, well, I found out about this before I met her. I have a good friend, and he is a Christian comedian. Interestingly enough, he's very popular. His name's Nazareth. He was born in Nazareth. He's Middle Eastern, so he tells about all that. And I talked to him, and he's a great guy, and he's very busy. I texted him and told him Katherine's story, and I said, can you give her some guidance in this? And he said, absolutely, I insist on it. So I thought that would be awesome to have them on stage, a Persian Jewish woman and a man from the Middle East, Palestine, basically. I thought that would be awesome. Keep her in prayer. She has an amazing heart. She shared with me her story today, and she only gave you just a small part of it, and she's got a great future in front of her for ministry and for Christian comedy. Well done.